What is up, everyone? Welcome back. Today I'm going to be going over 5 of the most important lessons that I learned in my year and a half or so of collecting sports cards, investing in sports cards. These are some of the lessons that I found really important, have helped me learn a lot about the hobby, how to kind of protect your money, understand why prices are the way they are for certain cards, understand the market in general. And I think this can be some pretty useful information. If you've been around for a while, you're probably already aware of some of it, but some pretty useful information, and I think it'll be pretty fun too. So feeling pretty good today. Hope everyone's having a good Monday. Hope you guys all enjoyed this video. The first big lesson that I learned, one of the first major lessons, was to separate the monetary part of the hobby and the pure enjoyment part of the hobby. Now, me personally, I don't know anyone who enjoys losing money, but that's why I found that there is definitely a way you can kind of find a happy medium, as far as there's plenty of cards out there that you can fully enjoy, as well as being a good long-term investment for your money. It was a very important one for me and for lots of people to learn. It's perfectly acceptable to buy anything you want, any player, any team that you collect. But keep in mind that those may not also provide the best returns financially. So I like to play somewhere in the middle, try to find a happy medium of cards that I think will go up in value, as well as cards that I do truly enjoy for myself. And you basically have to realize that, if you're a fan of a random team, you like some guy who just comes off the bench, his cards aren't going to be worth a whole bunch in the future. In 20 plus years down the line, even 2-3 years down the line. So it's definitely important to just take note of that. Realize that not everything is going to the moon. It's perfectly acceptable to play either side. And buying what you like is always fun. However, I could personally have a whole collection full of Thon Maker or Kristaps Porzingis basketball cards, players that were hilarious to me as a kid, but that doesn't mean those will necessarily be worth anything to other people in the future. So it's just something to keep in mind, kind of keep those two minds separated. And when I go to buy these cards, I do genuinely enjoy buying them. Buying what you like is cool until you go to sell it, and then you go to sell it and you're only getting half of what you paid, or just can't find a buyer for it. And so I just try to find a happy medium. There's enough cards that I do genuinely enjoy, that I do believe will go up in value, that I have no real need or no real reason to buy cards that I don't see any financial benefit in. The second big thing I learned, and this is maybe the most important one, is that baseball is king. Baseball is the king of collecting, and especially vintage baseball. The older you get, the more, I like to equate it to like a blue chip stock. The more blue chip it is, the more liquid it is to sell. Now, this is also one of the most important things I've learned, and this actually did come from a soccer collector, one of the channels I used to watch super frequently. His name is Soccer Study on YouTube. If you do, check him out, YouTube, Instagram, he's got all that. He's just a super smart guy when it comes to kind of looking at the grand scheme of things in sports cards. He's been around collecting soccer, just genuinely buying stuff that he likes for years. And, when everything went way up, he definitely benefited off of it. And he has just so much knowledge on the history of soccer, vintage soccer cards, pre-modern soccer cards. And he was just an awesome, super helpful channel. And he mentioned something that I thought was super important, which was Lineage. And Lineage for cards is probably the most important thing in providing value. So Lineage comes from basically how much nostalgia, how much demand is there for the card. This is why Topps reigns king. And this is because people remember Topps. It has insane lineage, and people just remember opening these packs as a kid. They remember you would pull someone's Topps baseball card. They just remember the term Topps baseball card. And so that is where lots of the value lies. Same thing with Bowman's baseball. And this is why these brands, these premium brands, tend to draw a little bit more money. These are the brands that everyone wanted as kids. These are the brands that everyone remembers. They're the most recognizable and the most plentiful. So sometimes cards may be rarer than some of their players' Topps or Bowman's cards from the 50s or 60s, but that doesn't mean the card will be worth more simply because there's less of them, as there's much higher demand for the Topps era and the Bowman type cards that really bring a premium overall. So again, Lineage, extremely important. This goes all the way back to the beginning of collecting. So you had like T206. Those cards are obviously worth more than the other tobacco cards from, some of the T205s, all the other T cards, some of the strip cards from the 20s. Those are more rare, much more rare than some of the T206 tobacco cards. However, they don't go for as much. They don't have, maybe as appealing of pictures. Not as many people know what they are. You could see a really nice card and be like, I've never seen that before. And with Lineage, you kind of become to recognize all of these cards a lot easier. And understanding this really helps you kind of get a concept of why certain cards are worth more than others. For example, Mickey Mantle, 52 Topps, being worth more than his 51 Bowman, which would be his rookie card. There's just so much more lineage with Topps, being that it's the first year of Topps. That was the biggest brand all the way through the 70s, 80s. And this is why this card pulls such a premium as compared to his actual rookie card, is because there's just much more demand. People consider it a better looking card, a more significant historical card because of the influence it had in the hobby. So this is very, very key to collecting. I could go ahead and take a picture of Mickey Mantle in 1960 and it would be a one of one. It would be the only picture of Mickey Mantle, but no one would know who I am, so no one cares. No one wants it. It doesn't have any real value, no nostalgia to it. People don't have any sort of emotional attachment. And so that's what will cause some of the more rare cards to not be worth as much, which is an important lesson. Now this one is not quite as fun to talk about. This one is, it's okay to lose money sometimes. So it is okay to lose some money sometimes. Sometimes you make a bad pickup. It's not good for the next 3 to 6 months. Maybe you couldn't find what you really wanted at a show and you buy something else miscellaneous that's not really what you're looking for. And then you go back at a later date and you don't have enough cash for something else. So you have to sell something for a loss, and that is completely okay and acceptable, and it's just part of the game. So not every deal is going to be a killer deal. It's not all going to be your best buys of all time. And this is just a super important lesson to learn, because it's easy to get discouraged if you make 1 or 2 bad purchases and you lose a little bit of money. You think, okay, you're never making money at this. It's, are cards really even worth anything? And you can easily make money in this if you buy the right things and you just stay patient and stick to your guts and your rules that you have for yourself. The number 5 thing that I learned was that this community is even better and more supportive than I thought. I've had so much fun in the past year going to card shows, meeting new people, talking with my family about this stuff, and there's a whole bunch of support in the comments. People always talk about having fun at card shows, talking to people, getting to meet new people, but it really is one of the best parts of the hobby. You see how kind of connected everyone is with the same type of interests. You can just go to a show all day long on the weekend, go talk to a bunch of people who think just like you, who got similar interests and just love talking about sports and cards, and just a whole lot of support, honestly, from this community, much more than I kind of anticipated. Lots of people like to talk about, the negative people in the hobby and the world, this and that. But this community has really been great for me, and I think that as a whole, people are generally really nice and always willing to learn. I love how everyone's always open to learning from each other, open to teaching other people new things that they may not know. And it just makes it a whole lot more fun, being that it kind of feels like one big group. Everyone is kind of working together, doing their own personal thing, and enjoying the hobby as it should be done. So these are just some of the things I learned. There's no possible way I could put everything I've learned into one video, but these I thought were some of the most important. I tried to just keep it to 5. I thought these lessons are ones that I always have to keep in my head whenever looking to buy cards, evaluating a card as kind of a long-term investment. And it's just some pretty valuable information that I hope you guys enjoyed. And I'd like to thank everyone again for supporting the channel, supporting me, and watching these videos. They're a whole lot of fun to make, a whole lot of fun to be messing around with these cards. And I really appreciate everyone a whole lot. So I'll see everyone at the next video, and later.